We are live. What are we live here? We are live. About 8 minutes late. So welcome. This is Lockdown Live with Colin Clapp, and apologies for being late on the first one. This is actually all part of the deal. This is a complete experiment. I have no idea how it's going to go. I could be talking to myself for who knows how long. But yeah, I am here. I am here to connect and converse, hopefully to have a bit of fun. I am doing this for a number of reasons. I have put it in my posts, but yeah, the reasons are many. I don't know where you might be in the world as you are watching this. The whole world appears locked down, and these are challenging times for many people on many different levels. So I want to try and bring a smile to anybody's face, because as challenging as there are opportunities, and there are definitely reasons to be present and to be smiling and grateful and gratitude, demonstrate gratitude. So I just want to demonstrate my gratitude for actually being alive, being well, having some skills, having some knowledge, having a family, having a roof over my head, and seeing how I might be able to share that. So yeah, there's the coronavirus challenges have proved one inspiration. On another level, I was listening to a friend or mentor, inspirations podcast, and he talked about making the most of this time, and to not come out of this time having upskilled or developed in some way. That resonated with me. For anyone who knows me, I consider myself a lifelong learner. I'm constantly upskilling and learning. It's always working on my mindset, but in recent years, the online world, I've learned a lot of technical skills. So what's going on with the hat? Wow, there we go. So constantly learning. Ali and I have transformed our lives on more than one occasion. For those of you who don't know, we are from Christchurch, New Zealand, and a number of years ago, around 2010, Christchurch was whacked by some big earthquakes, and the first one didn't kill anyone, but it took down our city's infrastructure. And then several months later, we had a second one. About 6 months later, we had a second one, and it killed about 200 people. So the time in Christchurch back in 2011-12 was a very surreal time. People were affected in many ways. The city itself was weird. The city didn't crumble immediately. Obviously some bits did. They just fell down immediately, and you know, that's the sort of stuff that goes onto the news, and everyone jumps on as in that environment of news, you know, where you've got to circulate news. And if you just saw the news, you would think the city was completely destroyed, but there's 500,000 people live there, and whilst the city, you know, was destroyed, lots of it wasn't, and to a degree life continued as normal. But normal was never going to be the same, because once a city is affected by an earthquake, a whole slew of knock-on effects happen. And so what happened in Christchurch was the city slowly came down, because what happened was the insurance companies received many claims around getting buildings repaired, and all these inspections took place, which revealed that the city wasn't up, that the housing and the buildings weren't strong enough to survive the afterquakes, and decisions get made around buildings to come down. So what happened was there was like 2 or 3 years where the city came down, sort of managed demolition. Now during this period, demolition companies the owners became multi-millionaires. They were in so much demand they couldn't keep up, and obviously people came in from other cities and settled in Christchurch to serve the Christchurch community and made lots of money along the way whilst performing a service that was vital for the city's rebuild. Then of course in the background you've got the rebuild plans and how's the city going to be reconstructed for the citizens of Christchurch to flourish and go forward. And of course that creates debate and argument about who wants what and whatever. So for a number of years in Christchurch the city was like a big car park, buildings coming down, and as you went down the streets, the streets were cordoned off while demolition was taking place, and then a couple of months later the street would be uncordoned off and you'd walk down and you'd be going like, what was here? The streets were deserted, and it was a very weird time, and it went on a long while, and then there'd be little rays of lights where buildings started to be rebuilt again and good news was coming in. But of course there was also the knock-on effect of how it affected people's businesses. So businesses suffered in different ways, and sometimes it wasn't obvious how they were suffering, but then there was the sort of hidden attitude to risk, people leaving the city, so there's mass exodus of the city, especially families with young children. Some of the schools were destroyed, a lot of the parks and playgrounds were inaccessible, and so if you were a child if you were a family living in an area that was worse hit, it meant that you didn't necessarily have the future that you were looking forward to. I mean, no one had the future exactly mapped out because things had definitely changed. And of course, as I share this story with you, I'm hoping that some of this is resonating, that there's parallel events, or this time it's on a global scale, but it's to just show that you can come through this, and whether you come through this in with a new outlook, with a new mindset, with new skills, whether you pivot or embrace things. So the time of the Christchurch earthquakes went on for a long while and affected everyone differently. And of course, Ellie's in health and fitness, and when she was coaching, clients, she would see a lot of mental well-being affected, not just physical. She found herself not just looking after their physical well-being, but she couldn't help notice how different people were responding to the way the city was destroyed and being managed and looked after. She spotted all these things, and so of course when people's mental well-being is affected, that can manifest itself in all sorts of different behavior and habit building and business effectiveness. So these things all contribute to your future and how you're going to handle your future. So then a few years later, after we'd had our first child, and she was about 2, I would say, we entered into a business that just went completely wrong, and we lost just about most of what we had, houses, money, and mainly we lost our confidence. We lost our income streams. We were both burnt out, and it was probably the darkest period of my life. It was not an enjoyable experience, and we got to the end of that in about 2000. Well, I say the end of it. We got to a period around September, October 2016 where we just pulled the plug and said enough is enough. And that I can particularly remember one very, very dark day as the turning point. And I guess now if I reflect back, that dark day was the worst day, because on that worst day I did not know what I was going to do before I made the decision that we that's it. We will walk away from this business. We cannot carry on losing how we are. So anyway, listen, I want to come. I'm happy to revisit that story at any point. There was a few reasons. So my friend challenged me via a podcast. Don't let this period pass you by for stepping up and learning something new. So that's one reason why we are here. Second reason is the obvious that there's people out there now who are not used to having no social interaction. So I just want to make myself available. I started off very serious, but let's have some fun. If you're working on something, maybe you're learning to play the guitar or the piano, well, come on and play a tune for us, and tell a joke. Or tell us a good story. Tell us what your kids are up to. How are you improvising? What are you doing? I personally have challenged myself to use this software. Now I'm not really sure what you can see on the screen, but I am using some software called Ecamm Live, and it allows me to broadcast you live, and I've got a kind of dashboard here that allows me to do a few funky things. So yeah, so if you play a song, I might give you some applause. Yay! What did you think of that? Or you might shout some news, and so we could go for. Well, yeah. What about that? What else have we got here? You want to play? There we go. We can have a bit of a party. I don't know. And if you've got a really cool sound you want to share with me, maybe we can go with that. So yeah, I want to upskill in using this software, have some fun, learn how to master it. There's different things I can do. Like I can, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you could look at that. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, that sort of thing. Yeah, I could do that. What else can I do here? Yeah, who am I? I'm Colin Clapp of Parenting Passports and Profits. So I can move this around and try and get that back in. I can change the scene so that what else can we do here? We can go to what have we got there? That looks like I am sharing my screen in some sort of way, so probably shouldn't have done that. I don't even know how to get out of that. Scenes, change scenes, default scenes. So let me just so what you saw there was a screen share, and I need to just come out of that, and let's minimize that. So yeah, I'm using Ecamm Live, and what I can do is like a broadcasting software. It allows me to share different views. So I could plug a camera in, have a different view. I could be looking over here or here, and there's reasons why that could be useful. I'm in a sort of sit down environment here, might not work. The sounds I can plug in. So all of this is going to help me go live. I can share my screen, I can do tutorials. So something I want to do is sort of put it out there. If you want to see how a tool works, or you want to share your own screen, actually, you can do that. If you want to see how a tool works, then maybe I can dive into our tools and give you a look behind the scenes, show you how some things work. If you would like a website review, I've got what can I do here? I think I can do I can put on a little timer and overlays, countdown overlay. What have we got here? Okay, yeah, let's duration, go to next scene, we'll finish all the start. Okay, let's try this. Has that come up? Oh yeah, look, there we go. Look, no, what's going on there? Let's turn that one off. There you go. So we have a little timer up here. Now I don't know what I can do with that, but let's put that back to there we go. so I can play this timer, and we could do like a 10-minute website review. If you give me your URL, we could see how that goes. Here we go. I can now. I don't know if you. Okay, so what I just did there, you can't see this at the moment, but can you hear me now? Now I don't know if that's going to work, but I've just turned the sound off on my computer. I probably shouldn't do that just in case. Right, so what I've done is I've brought up my I clicked on the share, and from that it means I can see this going on YouTube, but I'm doing all this on one screen, so this probably is not the best thing to do, but it's going to be easier said than done. Maybe I've got my mobile phone here, so maybe I need to set this up on and see if I can see the comments come through, or I could get my iPad and try it. So this is me. This is one of the reasons I'm here. I want to upskill in this software. I've subscribed to this software for quite a while, and I haven't been using it. So I want to level up with using it. Ellie and I have always had a plan to do more video. We've invested in some equipment, we've invested in a few things, but for one reason or another, bringing a new child into the world, sorting out, how we're going to make our way in the world. Obviously there's lots of gaps in our story that I'm not come on here to tell you. I just want to be here to communicate, connect, to chat, and to have some fun. I'm used to being in a co-working environment, and often I have my head down, but right now we are in lockdown. We are in a house there, actually, in rural France, and we've been location independent for over 3 years now. When I say we, that is my partner Ellie and my two girls. One of them is 6 and one of them is 1. Actually, she's 1 1/4 today. So we let's get rid of that timer. That's not timing anything. Bye. But yeah, I'll come back to that. So we have been location independent. So during our 3 years, we've brought a new child into the world, and we had the option to go back to New Zealand and sort of think, well, shall we stick around and stay there, or do we want to continue with this lifestyle? And we just felt we'd only just got going when we found out Ellie was pregnant. So as long as the baby was healthy, we was like, no, we're going on the road. So that's what we've done, and we come back on the road. We've been in Southeast Asia for virtually the entire time, and we'd kind of set ourselves a goal of 2020 being the time we come to Europe, and we were thinking Eastern Europe. We really want to try out places like Bulgaria, Russia, Georgia, some other places, Albania. I don't know if you'd describe that as Eastern Europe, but a lot of those Eastern European countries, they appeal to us as being something very, very different. So we sort of made a provisional plan that we would find a way to get to Europe be around springtime of 2020, which is, I guess, is now, but we was thinking more April, May, June. April, May, June, and our last country was the Philippines. So, and we haven't done a lot of traveling. We haven't been to many countries. Probably about 8 or 9 in the 3 years that our eldest has been to, and our youngest has probably been to 6 or 7. So probably 6 or 7 since we left. So we don't move fast. We like to sort of stay in one location and settle in. So we're in Vietnam for 6 months. We were in we've done a couple of visa runs. So we had a short stint, I think, in Cambodia, Singapore, and then a longer stint in the Philippines, and that's where we were when we were deciding, well, where to next, around March time. And Ellie, who keeps on top of house sit opportunities, saw one from a couple in France offering a 3-month house sit, which is appealing. We tend to sort of make 3 months our minimum stay somewhere. Allows us to settle and move in. Now, excuse me, I'm surrounded by a few flies. And it turns out they were very keen to have a family come and stay in their rural house while they went to Australia to look after a family member. And we didn't think we would get it. Often these things just, you fall into abyss. Lots of people are applying, but this lovely couple said no, we weren't thinking of having a family, but as soon as you applied, we was like, this house should have a family in it. And I can't really show you on a desktop, but maybe as I do more of these, I'll see if there's some way I can show you the outside. We have 2 acres of garden and we have plenty to keep ourselves occupied, and plenty to keep ourselves occupied while in this sort of lockdown period. So I'll tell you more about that. But the point is, we got a house sit. We reached it. We applied. It was sort of saying yes to life's opportunities, and we did this around the February for something that was due to start at the beginning of March. So I don't mind admitting, I'm sort of embracing more of a spiritual way of living and trusting in the universe and my intuition, and I feel like serendipity and lady luck shined on us, because if we'd been locked into Asia, we would have found a way to survive, but it would not have probably been pleasant. You know, we were used to apartment living or small house living. Not a whole lot of amenities in the house. We liked living in Southeast Asia. We made a lot of friends. We enjoyed the whole environment. It was different. It very much felt at home as we lived in different places. But if we'd had to be locked into one house, invariably it could have been quite uncomfortable. It would have been small for all 4 of us to survive. Now, we couldn't have realised what we were getting when we came to this house, but you know, we've got a lovely big house, huge big kitchen, massive amount of grounds, and we are in the middle of nowhere. We're in the countryside. We can see as far as the eye can see. We have 4 houses in a hamlet around us, and I'm just going to play with the glockenspiel. We're not in France. We're not in. Oh, I thought that was a Swiss thing. I don't know. I just went off on a real tangent there. Ding ding. Yeah. Hey. Anyway, nothing French there. Maybe I'll see if I can find a way to add. Anyone got any French sounds they want to share with me? If you can come up with something, and I will go for that. So what happened next? We applied for this house here, we got this house here, and we arrived on I can't remember the exact date we arrived, but we arrived about a week before the world went crazy. Our main concern when we got it was just to actually get some warm clothing. We had we live out of 2 checked bags and 3 carry-ons for a family of 4, and it's very simple living, and it was a bit chilly when we arrived in Europe, and we've been on a sort of eternal summer for about 4 years, so we needed a few warmer clothes. Not too many, but just enough. So that's what happened. We got some warm clothes, and we had a couple of days in Paris getting over jet lag. We have learned that travelling with toddlers in our family requires very, very slow travel. Try and load up too much and there's a backlash. So that's what we did. Now, excuse me, I'm just going to pour myself a cup of coffee. And you do the same. Please take a break. I'm not going anywhere. I am here to just be there. And like I say, I'm gonna upskill myself, and I'd love it if you can join me. So I'm going off on tangents. So the technology I have here with this Ecamm Live, it integrates really nicely with Skype. So if you want to connect with me and give me your Skype address, let's talk let's come on, tell me what you're doing. Show me you playing the guitar, the piano, the harmonica. Introduce me to your family. Let's not let social distancing get in the way of social connection. Let's start new relationships. Tell me what you're working on. Make yourself accountable to growing. Let's come back tomorrow and see what progress you made in 24 hours, or come back in a week and let's see what progress you've made. Maybe you've got some questions about working online. We've been doing this a wee while now. I certainly wouldn't put myself up there with the gurus, but we've learned quite a lot of what not to do, and we've got some tips and tricks. We've got some systems, we've got some tools around content optimization. If you've got a blog or a website, we have got systems around outsourcing. We've got systems around email marketing, automation, building website pages. We've got quite a bit of experience there, and so we've learned what not to do on a lot of things. So so that was another reason. That I sort of summed up 2 reasons there. Ask me anything. Ask Ellie anything. She is sleeping right now, and I'm so proud of her. The baby is having a sleep, and she's gone to sleep at the same time. And the 6-year-old is completely respecting the space. I didn't even know they were asleep, and I'm just stoked that she's taking a nap, and I hope I'm not waking them. So. But this is all part of the dynamics of this period, and it means different things for different people. So so we are a world schooling family. We've been location independent for 3 years. At the beginning, we did not have a clue what we were doing. We just knew we had to do something different. We had to rebuild our lives from scratch. We had to get our confidence back that we were still valuable members of society with a lot to contribute, despite a business failure, and that's a big difference. Just because you have a business failure doesn't make you a failure. So but your confidence gets hit. You've got to dust yourself down and go again. And us going on the road as a family was a new adventure, and we knew we never heard of digital nomads or digital nomad families, location independence, world schooling. These were all brand new terms, and we just kind of embraced it and made it up as we went along. And we decided that what we'd like to do is work online. Now, our business failure involved an e-commerce organic vegetable delivery business, and what we discovered was the logistics is what wiped us out. We didn't make enough sales to cover the cost of systemizing a scalable business. So we made the business scalable, which we were very proud of, but we made a mistake in investing too much in the logistics, and we didn't have the cash flow to pay for it. And I'm not going to go into detail, but it hurt us, and we put our hearts and souls into making it work, and we went too far and lost more than we would have liked to, and still recovering. But as we sifted through the wreckage, it was the online part that was the it was the online part that was the bit that we clung to. It's like, well, we were getting some success of people paying us to provide goods and services online. What other way can we do that allows us to not have the same operating costs? And that's what we did. We embraced the online world of blogging and different online marketing platforms, and just dived in. We looked upon ourselves as what's the word? Apprentices. Apprentices. We're starting all over again. Mature apprentices. Um, and we didn't let our pride get in the way. We were like, no, we're going to have to suck this up. We're going to have to work for free. We are going to have to do a lot of learning to see if we can make this work. And that's what we did. And to a degree, that learning is, well, it's never ending. I said at the beginning, I've been a lifelong learner for a number of years now, probably a good 10 to 15 years. Wasn't in my early 20s and 30s. It took some life-changing events for me to embrace personal development and go on a pathway of continuous and never-ending learning, and I love it, and that's partly why I'm here. Developing your mindset, changing your perspective of life is an extremely important thing to do, and we've been lifelong learners for Ellie and I met 7 or 8 years ago, and she's wired in a similar way. We both love learning, and eventually we just took everything that came at us as another opportunity to learn and grow. And the more we let go of materialistically, expectations, letting all those go, and just being present for each other, being present for our children, simplifying our life, I don't know, the happier we've become. So as I mentioned, we travel with very little, 2 check bags. I'll see if I can show you a bag in another episode. But yeah, 2 check bags, 3 carry-on bags, and in that I can reach down here. This is my day pack, and I'll actually see if I can find a way to put the link. This is not, since we got to France and obviously lockdown, and because we're so rural, I've hardly used this bag. But when we were living our location independence and sort of having to move around separately, so Ellie might look after the kids and I might go to a co-working space, that backpack was my mobile office. I could turn up in a coffee shop and everything I needed I could get going. So part of what I'm doing is experimenting with this setup, and I will see if I can find a way to share what I am using right now. So there's a kind of mobile setup here, but it's that backpack would have everything in. I've got a keyboard, mobile keyboard. I've got a flyer hanging off me. I don't know what that was. Got my mouse down here. But it's the sort of I got little things like little stands. We're not talking when you're traveling with 1 check bag, you can't be. We do carry a tripod, but I can't have a boom arm and this, that, and a whole studio. So, but on this desk there's a don't always have a desk where the house we're in, but there's a overhead lamp. Oh, look at that! There you go, one of those types of things. Now that's just kind of up there. Now I didn't put that there on purpose, it just kind of was, but when I went live, this is what I look like without that artificial lighting. And it's just a bit dark, so just whack that light on and that just allows you to see me a little bit better. So all of these things are me upskilling in the technology area. So so there's 4 main areas. We're in challenging times, but there's no reason to be down. You might be locked down, but you don't need to be down, and this is a chance to level up, to look at the opportunities that could manifest themselves, and that could just simply be being present for where you are, what you're doing, spending more time with your family and with your children, having a chance to work on hobbies, having a chance to maybe do things around the house that you've never done. And I'd like to say, if there's a way you can join me, come on, show me what you're doing. Like I say, play the piano, or you're playing some new games with your kids or something, or you've just taken a photo of your updated vegetable garden. Tell people, let's see some positivity and show each other. So yeah, connectivity, so that we're not all social distancing. We're social connecting. We might have physical distance, but there's no reason why we can't socially connect. And I want to thank my friend Lainey Liberty, the lady behind We Are World Schoolers, who yeah, she was the first one who told me about changing that what's the word, let's not get sucked into social distancing, because no one wants to social distance. We all want to be socially connected. We're social creatures. Ellie and I would actually describe ourselves as introverts with occasional extrovert tendencies, and this might be an example of it. But in general, we enjoy our own company and keep ourselves to ourselves. But we all need to talk and share and have meaningful conversations and meaningful relationships, and I would love to do that with you. If you see me and I'm live and you want to come and talk, and let's do it. Let's connect and let's get to know each other, whether we've met before or whether we haven't met before. Let's take an opportunity. Now I can hear my little one in the background, so that tells me they've woken up and they will come. We're kind of in a long room here. I don't know if I can. I'll just lift up the computer, and hopefully, so I've got this kind of long room, and that door behind me. Can't quite show you. Anyway, it's a kind of nice long room. It's an old converted barn, and as I say, if I look out the window, I can just see countryside. So behind me is the two bedrooms, upstairs bedrooms, and they're going to come through there, and they can come say hi. So right, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to take another sip of coffee and play some applause. There's a little round of applause for me for stepping up and... Oh, no, shush, you come and say hi, Hello. So this is my partner Ellie behind me, and this is my smallest. We are just talking to YouTube Live. This is my eldest Ayla. We have no idea if anyone is listening. I'm just saying why I'm here and what we're doing and who we are, and yeah, just inviting people to come in and connect and tell us what they're up to. I'm here playing with my software and all sorts of things, and I'm going to keep showing up, and you can ask us anything. This one's usually got quite a lot to say, but it starts off shy when she sees the camera, but once you get her going, there's plenty in there, eh? Yeah, and this one is she is 15 months to the day. So should we sing her happy birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Romy. Happy birthday to you. Hey, see, round of applause. So yeah, yeah, who knows? So we're upskilling in lots of different ways. This one's playing with pencils. What have you been upskilling in today? What have you been doing? What have you been learning?
And Mummy said, even though I'm just copying Vicky's books, she said it's a different kind of copycat, and she said it's a good one.
Yeah, that's right. Daddy doesn't always like your copycatting, but yeah. Sure. And
Just take me where I need to get some food.
okay, bye.
We just woke up.
I know. I just told everyone how proud I am of you for having a sleep.
I just walk out and I'm on live video and I've just woken up.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't she look amazing for just woken up, eh? I'm so proud of her for having a sleep. I can't remember a time that she actually done that. So sleep is really important, and Ellie's taught me that sleep's important. Okay, and then so like the live show, anything can happen. Whoa, do you want to tell us what that is? Why don't you just sort of turn that round? So here's the camera up here. If you turn round, you should kind of flip it round, show it to... Okay, I'm going to show it to camera. And what is it?
Two doggies drinking.
Two doggies drinking. What are they drinking?
Wine.
Wine? I didn't know dogs drink wine.
They do.
They do.
That's
That's
just my creativity, Pop.
well. I'm impressed with your creativity. And what is what's this thing down? What's this thing here? What's that? What's that pink thing?
Her purse.
Oh, are they drinking at a bar? Is that what it is?
And
And
then that's the table. That's their phones.
so I don't know if you see that. So this is the purse, and this is their phones. Now, what I want to know is how did you know what it looks like in a bar? Because you haven't really spent any time in bars. We don't. I don't drink, so.
It's just because I was copying the book.
Why don't you show us? Why don't you go and get the book and show us the book? Because it's a pretty. No.
I just want to show you the picture.
Okay.
That's just quickly.
Do you mind if we keep that one to ourselves? Okay. We'll keep that. No, we're not going to share everything, you know. What about this one? And what's this one? What's that one, Ayla?
That's the dog. That's the human. And he said, "Go on, Reggie, fetch the stick."
Oh, so I don't know who Reggie is, but
Reggie's the dog.
Reggie's the dog, and the human is saying, "Go fetch us a stick, Reggie." So, and Ayla, so you're copying this from
Yeah, but that's just my creativity. So I hold lots of pencils together at the once and then just draw it around in circles and make it my own creativity.
Wow, I love it, love it. Have you given it a name, or has it got a name?
Not really. None of the pictures have got names.
No.
Just pictures.
I love your use of colours.
Oh, and there's also one more picture downstairs. I'll get it.
Okay, thank you. Last one. So there we are. So yeah, my daughter is leveling up with her creativity and artwork now. So yeah, maybe you want to talk about homeschooling or unschooling. We are an unschooling family that has sort of transitioned into world schooling, and what? Yeah, maybe. So there's a lot of new people out there world schooling, unschooling, homeschooling. What's this one, Princess? Ah, yes.
Like a fireworks thing.
Right, okay. So there's a few. I won't explain it all, but this is one she done earlier before lunch, and yeah.
You got it upside down.
Have I got it upside down? Okay.
No.
Still upside down?
It's meant to be up like that.
Oh, right. I've got it sideways on. Okay. So this is Ayla doing dogs, and dogs doing different things. So we won't dive into too much what those dogs are doing, but it's pretty good.
These are all just dog pictures.
Okay, very good. Okay, see you later, Pops. Yes. So we are. So little Miss there, she is 6.5 or 6.25, and when she was born, well, before she was born, before we even thought about having her, we were both committed to homeschooling, and so when she was born, we already we already mentally were geared up to be the facilitators of her education. Now, I use that word very, very specifically, facilitate. We are not teachers, and we are not trained teachers, and we don't believe you have to be. All we have to do is facilitate our child's learning. And the more we learnt about homeschooling, the more we were inspired to just keep going and going. And by the time she was born, we were already sort of over to the unschooling spectrum, where it's really all around child-led learning. So child-led learning is literally about letting the child lead. The child demonstrates their interests and what they want to do, and the parents go with the flow. And find ways to encourage that learning, and that's all we've done. We just watch our children, and we see what they're into, and whatever they're into, we facilitate them going deeper as they see fit. And if they get tired with it, then we don't force the issue, and we're not trying. There's no grading or expectations. They just goes. And as it turns out, this eldest one, she got into reading, and she got into reading all by herself. We read to her, and she eventually took it on herself, and she started off reading pretty much from memory, where she would verbatim repeat books that we'd read to her, all from memory. And this was kind of happening when she was 2, and things just sort of snowballed from there. She just kept picking up books, and there came a time when we could give her more words, more vocabulary. And I don't think we did too much more than teach her a few phonetics, so what words sounded like, and explain them. And then when we came to sort of letters that have different sounds, and I'm sort of trying to think, like a letter C, like letter C, let's take the word cancer with 2 C's, so the C at the beginning, we called that a hard C, k, and the C in the middle where it's sir, we called that a soft C. And I don't believe we did too much more than that. It's like, if it was a bit of an odd sound, we said, oh, that's just an odd one, and just keep going with it. But yeah, where we come across the sort of hard sounds and the soft sounds, that's what we did. We said, this is a hard C, this is a soft C, or this is a, what's another letter? The vowels, we kind of said, oh, some of them sound like an A or an R or an A, and you just get used to that. But it wasn't much more than that. And she just picked up the books, read, and if she didn't understand it, sometimes she would just sort of gloss over it, and then if we found that she was glossing over it, and we would just prompt her on that one, and just over time she started picking up bigger books and longer books and chapter books, and now she just reads voraciously. So it's kind of cute, because the small one is now sort of doing what she did when she was younger, and she's picking up the books. And we're just talking about, like, I haven't got one handy, but they're like the hardback books, and that's just the starting point, just actually handling books. When I was a kid, I was not surrounded by books, and I never saw my parents read, so it took me until my 30s to take on book reading and develop and use books to my advantage, and they became a huge part of our lifelong learning. And when we did have a house, I was quite proud of our personal development library, and that's why I say serendipity has been kind to us, because this long room behind us, and a cupboard downstairs, the couple who they're a retired couple, their library is loads of personal development stuff. So Ellie and I just go, wow, we're locked down in personal development inspiration. So if the girls go to bed early enough, we can read books that we haven't read before, and so there's learning going on there. If it's not podcasts or YouTube videos, there's books for us to get stuck into. We don't have television. We've steered clear of television throughout our whole relationship. We've never had television. And when I say we've never had television, that doesn't mean we don't watch things, but we've never sort of had television in the way of just pick up the remote control and surf through. We stream on demand whatever it is we want, and usually it's educational, inspirational, or just a movie. So there's no sort of casual just flicking through the channels and taking just wasting time on TV. So okay, Right, so let's have a look around. Let's see if anyone has joined me, apart from my own family. I knew this would happen, so I'm just gonna go on my phone. Um, we only have a small following on YouTube. We have a bit more of a following on Facebook and Instagram. So what we'll probably do is post these lives onto Instagram and Facebook, and let you know they're going. I'm going to play around with the time zones. We live in this location in the world. We are all in. We are. We've all got different time zones going on. Right. Where are we here? So I'm just looking at our YouTube channel on. So we have a YouTube channel, Parenting, Passports and Profits, and I'm just going to see if. Right, so it shows, and these are the sorts of things I'm going to play around with. Can I share my phone to the screen so you can see it? I think there's a way I can do that. I haven't done it before. So what happens with the live? The live is a little bit behind. So I'm watching this, and this is a little bit behind me actually talking. So I don't know if I can see, if I take that out of full screen, can I see if there's any comments? Chat publicly. I'm just going to see if I can chat as myself and see what happens. Hello, Colin. So yeah, if you are watching, please leave a comment, introduce yourself. So I've just posted a comment, and what I want to see is if there is a way. There we go. I don't know did you see that? Yes. So on my screen, I can see the comments. But what should have happened is, there you go. Look, I can. So it says Parenting, Passports and Profits, because I'm logged in as that channel. I'm just going to pause that. So yeah, what I could see there was that I was playing YouTube through my phone, and I could tell that was about 30 seconds. Actually, I don't know exactly how long, but it was behind. So I want to get used to those things, how that works, and how do the comments come up. So I posted a comment, and I think it displayed on the screen, and I'm sure there is a way that I can bring that options overlays, new widget overlay, show overlays window. Okay, I'm gonna play around with how the comments showed themselves. I'm gonna get rid of this because that's putting me off slightly. That's our website, so you can't see that. Actually, let me show you how I can do that. So something I can do with Ecamm Live is I can go picture in picture. So let's see if I can enable. I can do that through. Right, there you go. So I think there's some screen sharing going on there. So I've got Instagram. Right, I need to go over there and minimize. That's Instagram. So this is my desktop where actually you can see. So I've set up a scene. I don't think you can. What you should see is my desktop. Share screen. So here we've got picture in picture. So if you guys want a tutorial or anything, I could share my screen. Actually, I will. output options, live demo mode. There we go. Why don't I show you live demo mode? Live demo mode will broadcast your entire. Okay, let's turn on live demo mode. And so yeah, default scene is that the camera just comes straight at me, and I've got a few things. So over here I've got overlays, camera effects that I could play around with. I'm not really using those, but I would like to try a new camera. I've got, so I can, this is where I can like turn on, what have we got going on here? So I can turn Colin Clapp off, I can turn parenting passport, and this allows me to do this in all scenes. This is where I can play the what do you think of that, mate? So this is just having these things available to me. I wanted to put those down there. Okay, sound levels over there. So I can play around all this. This is effectively my studio. So the thing that I couldn't see is, all right. So I can just sort of knock that off. I could add. I can make that a bit bigger or smaller. So here's what you're seeing up here. Here's my sort of toolkit. We're in demo mode. Now the thing that I wanted to see if I could put up was the comments. Can we see the comments? New widget overlay, new countdown, new text overlay, new animated overlay, new image overlay. Output options. Show. Here we go. Let's see what this does. There we go. So right. So I could have this. Hopefully we'll get some more people join us. But these are the comments as they're coming up in YouTube, and as you can see, there is not many. It's day one. No one knows I'm here, and I didn't give you much headspace, but I think when I put "Hello Colin" on my phone, it popped up live here, but I can also see that I can just drag it on, and I believe wherever I put it, it will stay there. So yeah, maybe I can move this up here so you know who you are talking to. And right, so I think there's a setting that says comments go after 15 seconds somewhere, but I can play around with edit overlay text. I can background, save that. Well, that doesn't work very good, eh? So so it disappears after 15 seconds. But these are the sorts of things I can keep. Edit overlay text. Let's go back to that one, and well, let's make the text background, and we'll make the text color. Text color. Where's the text color? There we go. So we do it in a different way, and well, look at that. See? And I can put that there. Oh, okay. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. I didn't see that. I don't know if you saw that. So I can toggle on and off the comments. So there we go. I didn't even know that was there. That's awesome. That is awesome. So I can either just drag that in, and you can see, and I can make a point of it. And look at that, it's nice and central. See how it's centering up. So if you come on, I can feature your comment there. I don't know if so. How would I do that? I would. There we go. So I could just change the angle. The question's there. Tells me who is. Let's add a comment myself. Hi Colin, or like, how how do you do email automation with ConvertKit? So you might have a question around ConvertKit, and or one more about the spelling, and so I've just put that in. Does it come up automatically? No, it didn't. So maybe there's a setting there that I've got some control over there. But so now that just went. Okay. I got that nice and centered. Right, I'm going to turn that off. And what happens when I do that? Click view to comments. Click to view comments. So maybe that's in my studio. Yep. And all part of my learning. So what have we got here? So this is my share screen. And so if I was to, can you see that? Are we in share? What happens if let's say if I fire up, uh, Skype, let's fire up Skype. There you go. You should see Skype firing up. No, so I'm in demo mode. So let's go back and oh yeah, look, here we go. So now I tell Ecamm Live that I want to share, and you get it. So that now I tell Ecamm Live that I want to go back to Ecamm Live and back to Ecamm Live. So I'm going to pop out of demo mode, change myself out of demo mode, and back to my default scene. So what happened then? Show output options, live demo mode is gone. Oh yeah, sorry. Right. So I need to go back to camera. So when I'm in, when I go into sharing screen, I've got picture in picture. Now I can take the picture in picture out like that, and I think you're still seeing my desktop. So so what would I do there? I want to go back to my default scene, but I want I just go back to camera. That's it, very simple. So how Ecamm works is that whatever scene you're in, it remembers the last thing. So it's quite important as I'm playing around with this. I just kind of remember what I'm doing. So, but you can create different scenes, and I think I went off on a tangent there. But what I was trying to show is if we have Skype, I've got a scene set up that can do side-by-side picture. So when anyone calls me on Skype, Ecamm Live automatically sees Skype, and it will bring in the Skype thing. Hello. It will automatically bring in the Skype interview, me and the person, and there's probably a few things I can do around that. So down here right now, it can see that Skype is loaded and it's waiting for a Skype guest, but there's no one calling me, and but you know, is there anyone you want to speak to, or you want me to speak to, or do I want to speak to anyone and have an online chat? Maybe we can talk about a project that you're working on, or we can do an impromptu catch up. So let's do that. if you want to connect, what can I do to my Skype? My Skype. And there's our resident doggy as well. Bye bye. Right. So what I was looking for here was. What I was looking for here was some text. Hello. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, no, that's we're not. That's we don't do that. All right, pops. Okay. Yeah. Can you? What do I want to? I want to drag in some text to give you my Skype address. Overlays, new text overlay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Ski we call. Okay, so can you see that? There we go. That's my Skype ID. See, so I could just showing current scene. See, okay, boom. My Skype ID. Boom. Save that, and there we go. So if anyone wants to connect with me on Skype, just come in. I'll leave that in the default. I'll show that in current scene, showing all scenes. Why don't we move that up to showing all scenes? So there we go. Look at that. So now that is just something I can use. I can toggle that on and off. Look at that. So I could say, you could say, what's your Skype drink? And I just go, there it is. And take it away. Okay. So if you want to connect on Skype, and let's have a chat. So, all right. Listen, we have been going about an hour, and that's just an introduction. So, just to summarize, this is not meant to be some formal how-to tutorial or anything like that. This is a chance for us to connect and get to know each other. I want to get better at what I'm doing. So give me some feedback. Could you do this? Show me how you did that, or cut out this and add this in. I'm going to be playing. I'm also going to give myself a little pat on the back. Yay, well done, Cole. And yeah, see what I can do. I can drag video into this, so there is an option over here. There is an option. So, oh, here we go. I can. Yeah, I don't have anything on hand, but if you want to show me something on video, I can actually drag a video in. So we could go picture in picture and have your video in, and maybe I'll find a way to set up a scene that allows us to share video. So perhaps if you share video in a certain size, I can find a way to bring it onto the screen. So, okay. This is Colin Clapp, Parenting Passports and Profits, with Lockdown Level Up Live. I'm going to level up live with Ecamm Live. I'm going to practice using different equipment, and as I get to grips with that, I am going to be leveling up with some of my online marketing skills. So we are specializing in content optimization, search engine optimization, and improving websites, converting websites. This is all the sort of thing that can help us live location independently. So if you have questions around any of those things, yeah, come and join the conversation, and let's see how things go. Okay, all right. Well, that was fun. I want to get to know you wherever you are. Maybe you want to tell us what you're working on, make yourself accountable for the progress you're making, or maybe you just want to chat. You're a bit lonely with how things are going, sick of talking to the kids and your partner. Well, why don't you just come and ramble with me, tell us what you're doing, where you are, and let's get to know each other and see how we can help each other and make things a little bit more accountable. Alrighty, okay, Colin Clapp, Parenting Passports and Profits. I will be back tomorrow. I'm not going to promise the time at the moment because I'm just going to experiment. And yeah, so if you know anyone who's interested in leveling up, be sure to let them know I am around, and hopefully you're going to be around, and we are going to have some fun together. Okay, it is over and out from Colin Clapp. Take care now. Bye bye from France.